we talk a lot of Cowboys. You heard me yapping about Jerry Jones when you walked in.
Big mad about the NFL contracts.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Jerry Jones is the worst. But I have been a CJ Stroud defender.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good quarterback, and I think there's a lot of reasons he regressed last season, having not to do with him. I think everybody's sleeping on the Texans. I don't know how good they're going to be, but their division still isn't very good. They still do have a quarterback I believe in. They still have Nico Collins. They still have a head coach I believe in. You, as the Texans fan, are feeling how?
Fine. I think it's fine. I think last year was such a big disappointment for a lot of people, and it's funny because it's like it was such a disappointment. Like the Texans have also had the history of being so bad that like people would have murdered each other for that season that they had last year.
Correct.
They blow out the Chargers and then take the Chiefs down to the fourth quarter,
right,
and kind of collapse in on themselves like a dying sun. And they let 78-year-old Travis Kelce rumble, bumble, and stumble his way for his best game of the season. I digress. But you would have killed for that season last year, and they quote unquote weren't good. And a lot had to do with that. I've been on the Bobby Slowick is actually bad train since he took the job as the offensive coordinator for the Texans. He led CJ Stroud to having that awesome rookie year that people are still talking about 2 years later. I think it was kind of supplanted by Jaden Daniels last season.
Totally.
But, and then it all regressed. The offensive line didn't perform well. In fact, I think that Bobby Slowick was out over his skis on trying to didn't make any adjustments, or at least the offensive line may have even refused to make adjustments. Apparently that room was really bad. But all that to say, I feel fine about going into the next season. They draft and add 18 wide receivers, or because unfortunately Tank Dell had a Sean Livingston type injury.
So sad, dude, because he's a good player too.
He's such an awesome player, but he had a really Sean Livingston knee blowout injury, and we'll see if he even sniffs the field this year. I doubt it, but they signed 2 Iowa State wide receivers, or drafted Iowa State
both
wide receivers who are awesome. I watched them play at Iowa State last year, but they bring in Christian Kirk, who's off injured, but also a Texas native and kind of the possession wide receiver that really you need for this Texans team.
Can be a veteran leader in that room.
I mean, I think he could be really good, and I think he's kind of maybe an underrated sleeper fantasy draft pick if you want my advice on that. But their defense is going to be excellent. They're going to be great. The back half of that defense, they signed help me out here. He's on the Eagles last year. He won a championship with them. They traded for him. CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say Sauce Gardner.
I forgot they signed him. Yeah.
I believe they traded for him, and so to shore up their back half of their safety position, which may or not, especially when Jalen Petrie went out, was a black hole for them last year. But they had the best or the second best cornerback in the NFL, and Derek Stingley, and they have an offensive line or defensive line that's going to get after you. Plus, their coach is a defensive guy, and so far has led them to being a get after you, hit you in the mouth defense that really makes people turn over the ball and does a really good job with that. The question is the offensive line again. They completely almost revamped that entire offensive line. I think 2 guys are back from that offensive line. They trade all Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil kind of for nothing. Yeah, really. I mean,
Nichols.
A 3rd round pick. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see. I don't know, Jim. I think will it gel and be better? We'll have to see. Will CJ be gun shy and get happy feet in the pocket? And he kind of regressed last year because he was literally any throws over. He was the most pressured person on any throws over 15 yards.
We were having David Carr flashbacks a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He was the most pressured quarterback on any throws over 15 yards last year. He had zero time to get the ball down the field, which is a stark difference from what we saw when he's pushing the ball down the field his rookie year. Will he develop bad traits because of that? We'll have to see. I still think he's the best quarterback that the Texans have ever even sniffed. So
yeah,
I love watching
that. Should not be controversial.
No, it's not. It's not even. Like David Carr had some talent, but he obviously was not. The team was not prepared to have a quarterback drafted that high.
Deshaun Watson was pretty dadgum good.
He was good when he played, but but yeah, I don't know. I think that CJ Stroud has the most talent, and Peyton Manning had something really cool to say when they were at one of these events, these Fanatics events or whatever that they go and do publicity for. But he's won 2 playoff games. Granted, they're wild card playoff games against okay teams, but he's won 2 playoff games. Peyton Manning was
better than Dak.
Yeah, Peyton Manning was I didn't win a playoff game until my 5th year or something like that.
Yeah.
So we kind of, with the way that all of this works now, we're like, man, he should be doing this, that, and the other. Jaden Daniels makes the NFC Championship game in his rookie year. It's that feels like an anomaly. What really happens in the NFL is you take your lumps and then you win the whole thing. We're now used to Patrick Mahomes is going to win the Super Bowl in his 2nd year, and it's just I don't think that really happens. I think Patrick Mahomes is the first or second greatest quarterback that has ever lived, and he's an anomaly. So
yes,
I'm waiting to see. I think the pieces are there. I'm a battered and bruised Texans fan. That why would anything ever good ever happen to the Texans? But we'll wait and see. Hope springs eternal this time of the year.
I'll put it this way: comparing the Cowboys to the Texans, in the NFL, you got to get head coach right and you got to get quarterback right. I don't think the Cowboys have either. I think the Texans have both. I do.
I'll take it, but
I think the Texans have both.